Hi folks, Dino Bob here, back in Teybidee Park, and today we're back in Triceratops Valley, and we're going to answer that question in the front slide, but we're going to start by taking a tour through what's been built so far. So this is the main entrance to Triceratops Valley path. You can see it's split into diverging but parallel paths. And there was the other entrance, which is apparently much favored, at least in this current version of the park, built by our guests. They seem to show strong preferences for one of these divergent paths rather than splitting up and using different numbers. That may change if the crowd gets too big, I suppose. So we're moving toward Triceratops Plaza now. And there is a viewpoint here on the left. You'll notice me adjusting some things as part of putting it in, because once I saw the video, I realized that the rocks were a little too tall, and that meant a lot of the guests couldn't actually see over them, or wouldn't in real life. But that gives you a view into the this end of Triceratops Valley, and there are animals out there. You will clearly see that I have been doing work on the vegetation around the whole project, and did most of that off camera. So here is the plaza proper. On the left you can see some signage directing you to various elements in it, including the Vegosaurus Rex restaurant, and the open area of the plaza itself. There are some shaded seating areas, the Vegosaurus Rex restaurant, the plantings, and all in all a relatively placid place to be. The main building has its gift shop there on the left, and a passageway out to the viewing area. Actually, 3 passageways, but they're all connected. Anyway, so we have our large guest restroom facilities here. I'm probably going to have to open up those doors, as I learned recently. I did some detailing work on the inside. It's probably not as complete as it could be. I really need some towel dispensers or hand dryers, I think. But not bad for a simple little, yeah, it's not just empty walls in here kind of look. That's one of the seating areas, all centrally supported, and the restaurant itself has been tricked out and decorated a lot more than in the last video. There's one of the booths that I built. You can see the walls now have decoration, and replaced out the stools for a simpler, more countertop looking stool. Signage is up for all the various bits. Little bit of traffic control and around the counters, and yeah, just not terribly complicated. These doors probably will have to get opened as well. Anyway, this is got more seating areas and some more plantings on the right, and a nice walk out to the viewing building. As we're coming up, you probably can see the Apatosaurus Apparel logo through the fence on the right, and because that's a second merchandise shop that I set up here. This is the Giganotoraptor gifts. Again, simple interior, not enough decoration on the wall. I kind of get a little tired of using the same stuff, so I'll have to come up with something for that. Maybe a nice big Triceratops silhouette, since this is Triceratops Valley. Notice that I actually have a barrier there for guests getting in there. Have to fix that in another time. And there's the t-shirt shop. Same kind of deal. It's not heavily modified out of using custom pieces and stuff, just making just taking advantage of the pieces that come in the game to set it up. So give me a moment and I'll fix that, since those t-shirt racks ended up inside of the game. Not exactly what I planned on, but it's one of the things that happens sometimes when you're using double walls. They kind of go sometimes where you don't want them to go, and odd things happen. Anyway, that's better. We can move along to other things. I think next we will go around the outside of the building. If I recall what I did in this video, that means out the door. Out the door, there we go. And down this walk, and an implied area, the Hell Creek Research Institute, a private operation that helps the park and focuses on Hell Creek animals and their care and study. So out we go to the main viewing area. Wanted to leave the mesh up there above the glass so the animals can still be heard and smelled, but keep things from getting thrown into the habitat. And you saw there were indeed some Triceratops out there. We'll have some cinematics later. So this is looking down the other end of the valley, and yes, I'm deliberately avoiding the bridge. Trying to look past it because early assembly of some stuff is happening out there. The first stage of what's going to go on the other side of the bridge. Right now it's really just a trailhead, at least when this was shot. So looking through the fence, you can see the trikes. Look back to give you a sense of what it's like looking into the plaza from this direction. And here are the promised cinematics. They seem to be enjoying their habitat. This is a process, I think. There are two different species of Triceratops in the game, Horridus and Process. Well, a lot of people think and it's all about the brow horns. The really more significant feature is the nose horn, and whether it is short or long, and prominent or not. We got a nice couple here walking along together. The male is on the left with the more dramatically contrasted pattern on its face. This was a nice bit where they walked together. Thought that was pretty cool. So I put in two small groups of ceratopsians to start this valley. I intend to do some more animals in this habitat, and that'll be coming up in the next video with some other bits related to what's going on with the valley. I wanted to show you a little bit of what night looks like in the valley, or at least what the plaza looks like. The nights are much lighter in general, so it's not quite as dramatic with the lighting unless you're at a distance. But you can see our little seating areas all have their own lighting. There's lighting inside the restaurants, and also on the paths on the buildings, trying to keep the light largely away from the habitat, except of course at the bridge, because there are pole lamps on the bridge. Anyway, so it's kind of a nice little patio, not patio, plaza, and yeah, it was a challenging and long build to get to this point. And yeah, so a little more animal focused for the next one. Back to daytime for comparison. And because we have another Hell Creek animal that can share this habitat, if you know what that is, then you know what's coming. If you don't, tune in to the next video in this series. And we'll be pretty well closing out for now. Should have one more on the Valley series before moving on to the next habitat. Again, I think we're going to be on weekly on Fridays. And thanks for stopping by. Like, subscribe, all the usual stuff if you'd like to keep encouraging me to do more. You all take care. Be kind to each other. See you soon.